Hi, I'm Emily. I'm the creative lead at Flat2VR Studios.
My name is Tsvetan, and I'm a technical designer at Flat2VR Studios.
We're here to talk about
Roboquest VR. Roboquest VR is a VR roguelike that offers a wide variety of movement options, weapons, upgrades, and all kinds of tools to create your own perfect builds to the point where you get so overpowered that you are like almost one-shotting bosses and you will feel like the boss.
I think that specifically for the VR space, something that has been somewhat lacking in VR is games with that amount of replayable value that just makes you want to come back, that addictive thing that is so amazing about roguelikes. Roboquest just has that in spades, and I think VR really needs a title like that.
The most important thing to consider when creating a game from Flat2VR is to preserve the original design and make sure that the game stays true to the initial idea that was behind it.
And you want the fans of that game, when they play it, to recognize it. Like, this is Roboquest VR. But at the same time, you're designing for an entirely new audience of VR players who maybe don't know the original game and have expectations about what a VR game looks like. So player choice is something that we often fall back to as a way to appeal to multiple audiences. And I think a great example of that is the reload mechanic in Roboquest VR, where we do offer multiple different ways of reloading the weapon. And if you are looking for an experience that's just really fast-paced and a little bit short, flat game, you can do the quick hip reload or reload by swapping your weapon. But if you are looking for a little bit more of the physicality of being able to play in VR, we do have a two-hand manual reload option where you can grab the magazine and insert it into the weapon.
Another feature that comes to mind that worked pretty well in the flat game was the dynamic movement and in general the combat of the game. That translated really well for VR because at the end of the day it is a first-person shooter game. So those are very popular in VR, and that worked right away. Being able to jump around, grind on rails, shoot at enemies, look around, quickly shoot abilities and all that. Players can expect that to be very similar, if not even enhanced for VR. Because now you're not just watching the robot do these things, but you are the robot, you're embodying the robot, and you're in the battle, killing all these robots, facing these massive bosses. Adds up so much to the VR experience.
I think the VR fans will just love the art of Roboquest's world. It's some of the most beautiful environments I've ever seen in a game, and then in VR you get to be inside of them. And building on Tsvetan's point of just replayability is that it's a massive game, and when you think that you've seen so many different things, then you enter into a drastically different environment that looks so different and is super unique. And our art team and tech art team has done a phenomenal job at making the environments really shine in VR.
My favorite feature in Roboquest VR, it's a bit of an odd one, but it's the perk select menu. It's something that obviously exists in the flat game. It is this widget that appears in your face and you can select which upgrade you want to pick. In VR, that's transformed into 3D space. So now all of these choices that you have in the flat game are these 3D cards sitting in front of you, and you can grab them, look around, inspect them, read them, and ultimately make your choice by selecting one of them.
One of my favorite parts is the onomatopoeias that play when you fire your weapon. That is, you fire your gun, you'll see the word like pow, but like they're written out like you're inside of a comic book. I think for VR especially, that's super cool. And also, there's a ton of fun characters in this game, which I feel like is kind of an unexpected part of the game. But there's a lot of really quirky, weird robot NPCs. Like there's a mobster guy, there's a guy who just really wants some swim trunks, there's a caterpillar Alice in Wonderland-esque guy with bubbling vials of stuff.
The combat in Roboquest VR is fast, it's dynamic, it's unpredictable, it's challenging. It's a lot of things that I feel like advanced VR players are really going to enjoy. It offers such a high skill ceiling that it's going to keep you playing and playing for hours until you figure out how to bunny hop or rocket jump and do all these kinds of crazy movement technologies you can do, just because the game already offers wide variety.
And it's not that hard to pick up. You can get in and it just feels really nice and juicy, and the combat is intuitive. You can get pretty far in a run and you die, but you're supposed to. And so you get back up and you do it again. And I think just that addictive, juicy, fluid nature of the combat is both really easy to jump into, and you really want to master it and get good at it.
I've sunk so many hours into the Flat game by myself, and so many more into the VR one, just because of the feel of being there in that world, messing around with those enemies, grabbing different upgrades, creating all kinds of like creative, unique, broken builds that you can come up with.
And as you're battling through all of these evil robots, you're uncovering the truth behind why the world is the way that it is. And the better you get at the game, the stronger you get, the closer you get to uncovering the mysteries of this world, how humanity ended up here, how robots ended up turning on each other. And it's a really beautiful, engaging, fantastic game that I'm excited is coming to VR.
I was a Roboquest player long before I even started working on the VR title. So to me, Roboquest has always been one of the best roguelikes out there. And to know that we have the opportunity to bring it to VR and have VR players also experience that is truly amazing.